Wachowski films are all about revolution. In the first Matrix, Neo is a militant hero who is opposed to machines and the false world they've created. In V for Vendetta, V fights against an authoritarian regime, and in Speed Racer, Speed tries to defeat an enormous capitalist conspiracy. But when you look closely at these films, you find that they don't only share revolution in common, they also share a very particular vision of what revolution means, how it acts, who it serves to help, and who it serves to harm.
I hate this place.
And that's what I want to talk about. How the Wachowskis construct rebellion and dissent and oppression in these three films. So that's this video, how the Wachowskis construct revolution. There are three main features that define a Wachowski revolution, and these three things are at the heart of the movies I'm talking about, fundamental to the stories they're trying to tell. The first is that the revolutions of these films aren't centered on changing material realities. They're not about making the world a more equitable place or on redistributing wealth. Rather, the revolutionaries in these films focus their energy on knowledge and ideas.
It is the mental projection of your digital self.
They recognize that the world as it is conceals truth from its people, and their goal is to reveal that truth. Look at The Matrix. Neo here doesn't want to free people from computer control because the Matrix treats people badly. In fact, the world of the Matrix is the best it possibly could be.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster.
Really, the only reason that Neo is opposed to machine rule is that what it produces is artificial. It's not the truth, and so it must be stopped. There's nothing else to it. Or look at V for Vendetta. Yes, V is opposed to the authoritarian regime because it hurts people. But more importantly, he fights it because it's founded on lies.
And it is he who suggests that their target should not be an enemy of the country, but rather the country itself. But the end result, the true genius of the plan, was the fear. Fear became the ultimate tool of this government.
We might ask, why is it necessary within the narrative that this police state be founded on a false terrorist act? Would an oppressive ruling class that formed because of real safety concerns be any better? Within Wachowski logic, the answer seems to be no. In this film, a government can be bad for a lot of reasons, but for it to necessitate revolution, it needs to produce a false reality.
That wasn't real.
This is true in Speed Racer 2. The society of this film is one totally controlled by capitalist enterprises, but it's not like we see how corporate rule has made the world a worse place. No one is noticeably oppressed or treated unfairly. Instead, our big problem with business in this movie comes down to they fix racing and take away its beauty.
That's what racing is about. It has nothing to do with cars or drivers. All that matters is power and the unassailable might of money.
Again, it's not material events that make a system bad, it's the concealing of truth. The second trademark of a Wachowski revolution is that no matter what the system of oppression consists of, capitalism, authoritarianism, or machine rule, it always feels impenetrable. In The Matrix, the false reality that computers have built for us is absolute. Most people go about their lives with no knowledge that they are a cog in a massive machine.
Is a computer-generated dream world.
In V for Vendetta, the ruling class is untouchable. The leader is posed as this big brother guy, larger than life and capable of controlling the truth to match his agenda. And in Speed Racer, the capitalists that control the world are so all-powerful that they are able to control all racers and fix all races. Posing powerful groups as impenetrable isn't a feature unique to Wachowski films. This conceit is actually very common in movies. In Star Wars, the Empire feels totally unbreakable. In Avatar, the Fire Nation is unbelievably powerful.
I have all the power in the world!
Even in Rocky, we have a sense that winning against Apollo Creed is impossible.
I can't beat him.
So, this isn't exactly the most interesting thing to point out about these movies, but it's an important aspect of the Wachowski perspective, and it leads me to the third way that all of these film revolutions connect. Because the oppressive systems that these movies present seem so impenetrable, and because they all produce false realities, the only way to fight against them and defeat them is to have a guy who knows better and who shows the world a symbol of its own oppression. Okay, so in The Matrix, the computers can't be defeated by the general population because they have no idea that something needs to be fought against. So instead, we get Morpheus and Neo and friends, people who above anything else are aware. They know everything, how the system lies to us and controls us, and so they are the only people who can fight against it. And in that pursuit, the main weapon in their arsenals is that of symbols and ideas. Neo doesn't escape the Matrix through a bloody conflict. He does so by accepting a symbol. He takes the red pill. At the end of the movie, Neo makes it clear that he's not going to win through force, but by showing people the story of their own liberation.
I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
V for Vendetta has the same narrative gesture. The whole movie is fixated on the power of stories and symbols.
What you want, what you really need, is a story.
A story can be true or false.
The Guy Fawkes mask, the blowing up of Parliament, the show made by Stephen Fry.
Terrorist has been neutralized.
They all exist to show us that violence doesn't bring down the system. Icons do. Media does. This logic is also at the heart of Speed Racer. Again, the movie isn't focused on bringing down capitalism through physical revolt. It's about one racer who's aware of how bad the man is and who is able to take him down by refusing to buy into his system. He races and he wins, and the structure of control comes apart. Really, all three movies come down to one word.
No.
No, I will not accept the fake realities that computers offer me. I refuse to abide by the law of a police state. No, I will not accept the fact that all racing is fixed to promote oil sales.
I don't think this kind of deal's for me.
Saying no is the important part of the revolution. Everything else is just decoration. Now that we have an understanding of how the Wachowskis construct revolutionary action, I think it's important to ask, is this vision a disruptive one? Does it give us a narrative that we can use to better society and reduce oppression? A lot of people would say yes. I mean, Wachowski films have a pretty big role in weird political discourse, from Anonymous to men's rights activists, for some reason. And while I can see why somebody would think that the directors are disruptive, I don't agree. In fact, I think that the Wachowski revolution narrative is sort of artificial and toxic. All these movies subscribe to the idea that the difference between the oppressed and the revolutionary is the lucid, autonomous figure who knows better than the rest of us. That we, the general population, are just a bunch of docile sheeple who live in darkness and are waiting for our savior to hand us the red pill. This is not true. We are constantly surrounded by information. We can see clearly the way our society is inequitable, how it produces suffering, and any change to that society can't come from some dude who just knows better and says no to power. It has to come from, regular people who want things to change. The Wachowskis have made a pleasant story here, one that lumps us neatly into one of three categories: the oppressed, the oppressor, and the one who knows. And it's fun to watch because it's simple and gratifying, but it doesn't match up well to the world we live in. I think that more than anything else, the Wachowski vision of revolution serves to impress upon its audience just how important their films are. The Wachowskis are Neo, they are V, and they are Speed Racer. They, and maybe only they, can show us the symbols and stories that can set us free. I don't think they're right about that. If you didn't like this video, then go ahead and take the blue pill. Forget you ever saw this video and go back to living your normal, everyday life. You won't even know what you're missing. But if you did like the video, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. That's the red pill, and you don't know right now everything you don't know.